Browns continue to work through the candidates for offensive coordinators, an important opening that Kevin Stefanski has to fill today. They interviewed Kellen Moore. That goes along with Andy Dickerson, Ken Dorsey, Jared Johnson, Brian Johnson. With so many openings around the league, there are a number of them, it would make sense for Cleveland to move quickly on this hire as they are this deep into the process. That from Jonathan Jones. All right, so more about Moore. Kellen Moore, 35 years old, joins the Chargers last year after 4 seasons as Dallas's offensive coordinator. And it wasn't a great season with the Chargers. For whatever reason, didn't take off. 18th in total yards, 21st in points scored. In 2019, though, the Cowboys offense, number 1 in yards, 6 in points. With Moore as its offensive coordinator, club was number 1 in both categories in 2021. Because of that success, Moore had a number of head coaching interviews, and we'll see the Carolina Panthers interviewed him, as did Jacksonville and Miami. Again, that was a couple of years ago that he was being interviewed as a head coach along this time of the year. Let's welcome in Jared Mueller from Dogs by Nature. Jared, again, Moore is a guy with a pretty big pedigree. 35 is still reasonably young.
It really is. From everything that I understand, Moore is their top candidate. He's in the building today, or maybe he's out of the building by this point in time. But Moore is an interesting guy to look at with the group that they have, right? Andy Dickerson, offensive line coach. Ken Dorsey. Buffalo was better with him than they were without him on offense, based on all metrics. Jared Johnson's an up-and-comer in Houston, but is that what you're looking for in Cleveland? Someone who could be gone in a year for a head coaching job. Brian Johnson, the Eagles thing didn't really work out. Kellen Moore really does make the most sense for the Browns, and it's important to realize some of the limitations around offensive coordinator under a defensive coach, right? So really explosive offense in Dallas. It got a little bit better when he left with Mike McCarthy, but he goes out under Brandon Staley, and it's just not that good with the Chargers. They had a lot of injuries. Offensive line wasn't very good. But Staley also really wanted to keep things a little buttoned up and really seemed to limit what Moore was able to do with the offense. So a lot of injuries, Justin Herbert, his finger, all kinds of different things. So as we know it right now, the goal would be to get Kellen Moore signed today if possible. Jonathan Jones doesn't just kind of put things out there without a little bit of knowing something could be coming or should be coming or someone's hoping it's coming. So I would expect the Browns to have somebody locked up as the offensive coordinator by Monday if they have it their way.
Yeah, and Moore is a guy that Kevin Stefanski has never said, I'm not letting my offensive coordinator call plays. So Moore is a guy he might relinquish play calling duties to. And you got to believe with Deshaun Watson, that's got to intrigue a guy like Kellen Moore. Had a lot of success with Dak Prescott.
Absolutely, and you're exactly right about Stefanski. And even this offensive coordinator search, who is calling plays is really not even a part of the conversation. They want to find the best person they can for this team. And so if that person is really talented at calling plays and scripting plays and putting things together, which is really important, right? Fans can focus really on this play and this play, but the best offensive coordinators have a play in the second quarter and a play in the fourth quarter or the third quarter that look similar, but are done to set kind of each other up and to make things work. And so the ability to string together plays and make the plays make sense, but also to set up the defense to go one way so they can go another, that is a talent and that is a skill. If the offensive coordinator has that, they'll get the job and they'll get the role of calling plays. If the offensive coordinator is more of a teacher and a planner and maybe not an in-the-moment person, but really good, Monday through Friday, then they won't call the plays. Stefanski will, and they'll get the job to really focus on teaching, development, planning, all of kind of the big picture stuff, while Stefanski kind of handles the day-to-day. It's really about getting the best person for this offense. Deshaun Watson, that's while fans and media might talk about a lot of different things, he's still a calling card. He's still had a couple games, Titans, Ravens, that he's a player that offensive coordinators want to put their name with because they think if they unlock him next year, they're back in that head coaching search that Kellen Moore, for example, was just in.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that.